Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:01, starting with the roll call by our neighborhood assistant, Curtis Hayashi.
Char. Here. Salasa. Absent. Eberhard.
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
Mitchell appears to be online. Okay. Nakamoto.
Here.
Peck. Online. Ross. Absent. Steelquist.
Present.
Kawano. Chan. Lee.
Here.
Peters.
Here.
Chair, you have quorum with 9 members present.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up is we'll take the Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening. My name's Captain Go with the Honolulu Fire Department. I'm gonna have firefighter Hano Hong read you our monthly statistics and fire safety tip.
Right. So our statistics from the month of June for 2025. We had 1 structure fire in the area, 13 activated alarms, 128 medical calls. And then our fire safety tip for the month, July 2025, it has to do with wildfire fire awareness, trying to prevent and be prepared for it. Wildland fires significantly threaten Hawaii's landscape, wildlife, and communities. With dry conditions and daily activities increasing the risk, it's crucial to take proactive steps to prevent and mitigate wildland fires. Things you can do include reducing the risk of ignition by maintaining your yard and cleaning your gutters to remove fuels, clear vegetation 10 feet around campfires and barbecues, keep a shovel and water nearby, and ensure fires are completely extinguished before leaving. Ensure machinery such as chainsaws and weed trimmers and recreational vehicles with operating spark arresters are maintained regularly. And if you want more information on that, you can check online. Fire department has its online website, as well as Department of Emergency Management and the Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization. If you have any questions, you can refer them to my captain, Danny.
Okay, are there any questions from board members? Richard.
When a building gets one of these new fire alarm systems, sound, audio, and all that there, do you folks go in and check it out to see it's all working? Or is that up to the contractor that installs it?
Well, we perform routine inspections on the fire alarm and various fire protection systems in the buildings in our area, commercial and residential. So I believe our inspection schedule is at least once every year.
Okay.
Are there any further questions from board members? Seeing none, are there any questions from any attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Honolulu Police Department.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sergeant Sai with District 1. So I'm just going to go over our stats for this past month for this area. So for motor vehicle theft, this month it was 9, and last month it was 13. For burglaries, this month we're at 10. Last month we were at 12. Theft cases, there's 28 theft cases this month. Last month we were at 26. UMVs are breaking into vehicles. We're at 14 this month. Last month we were at 8. Assault cases, we're at 4 this month. Last month we were at 12. There are no sex assaults this month or last month. No graffitis this month. There was one reported last month. No drug cases this month, and there was 3 drug cases last month. Total calls for service in this area was 2,069 calls. Last month, we were at 2,255 calls. I'll take any questions now if there are any.
Okay, starting with questions from the board. Robert?
I don't know the protocol, but I prepared a report, officer. This is for you.
Okay.
I live at the corner of Green and Ward Avenue. And one block, Mackay is the intersection of Lunalilo and Ward. And that intersection, I have counted 4 major accidents in the last 2 years. And if you look at I tried the diagram, it's crazy. The diagram looks ridiculous, but it shows the kind of action that has to take place. People coming up Ward wanting to turn left on Lunalilo, someone coming down from Ward 1 Avenue, and all of a sudden it's 1 street and it's 2 at the corner. It's diabolical, that intersection. I don't think I've been here 70 years in Hawaii. I've not seen a worse intersection to have to navigate. And I'm willing to meet with anyone to see if we can find a solution to this. And one basic solution is the traffic coming up Ward, if they at least had a left turn green light, that would stop all the Ward coming down. What happens now, they have the left turn and the people coming down cannot see the person turning left. The last accident, they went halfway up the wall at the corner there. It's very major. So I'm available to meet with any one of your department to further discuss this and see if we can find a solution. Thank you, officer.
Thank you. So I definitely understand how hard it is to draw diagrams, as we do that all the time. Ward is a crazy area in general, so I understand your frustration. As far as changing lights or turn signals or anything like that, that goes a little beyond our department. But I can take it back to our command and bring that up. And we can offer more presence in the area. Maybe it'll help people at least slow down. But I will bring that back to our command.
Okay, I see everyone's clamoring to put their hand up. Arthur, and then we'll have John go next.
Yes, my question is, in the installation of the bike path on Pensacola and Kenau, I've seen 3 bicyclists almost get knocked down by cars making a left-hand turn. And I've been hearing more and more sirens responding to accidents at that intersection. How many have happened that you're aware of? And is there a way that we can prevent that left-hand turn and bicyclists colliding coming down Pensacola?
So off the top of my head, I don't have the stats for you. I can take that back, and whoever comes to the next board meeting, I can have them bring those statistics for you. Is that a legal left turn over there? It is, okay. I mean, just the cyclists in general has been a big issue for us. We are trying our best to enforce, especially the e-bikes. That's been a lot harder for us, but as far as the stats, I can have that prepared for you for the next sergeant to bring for you.
John?
You have statistics about the accidents at the corner of Lunalilo?
Lunalilo and
The one where the new building is. What's that address?
Lunalilo
About the 5-way stop.
Are you talking about the
Ward.
Lunalilo and Pensacola? The new Bill 7 project
Yeah,
that
Bill
just
7,
opened
yeah.
up?
So I have the stats. So it seems like you guys are very concerned about the driving and accidents, correct? That's what it seems like. Next meeting, I will make sure that we don't have MVCs or motor vehicle collisions on here. I'll make sure that they have that,
Well,
at least to show what we're responding to.
This has been a problem for 6 months, a year? How long? Yeah. But anyway, we keep saying, change it. And so now we have a new board. So
Mhm.
this board's got to change it. We can't go for another 6 months having accidents there.
Yeah,
that-
definitely. I agree. It would probably have to be looked more into as far as, like I said, changing turn signals or maybe street signs or something. But I will at least bring the stats back. We don't have the stats for motor vehicle collisions right now.
Chuck?
Yeah, this is in response to Mr. Peters' concern. I'm not sure if you covered this because my hearing is kind of bad, but
Okay.
what happens is when those people are coming up Ward, there's two sets of stoplights they're looking at.
Mhm.
So they're looking at the one up on the top, and that's why a lot of cars get side swipe, or what do you call that?
Is that
really-
the one near Green Street?
Yeah, they get with cars making a left, they
Yeah.
get slammed right into because the cars coming up Ward are looking at the other sign on the second street up. So I'm not sure if we can change the signaling on that or what, but maybe that's, like you said, something that we can talk to the city people about.
Yeah, I can at least bring it up to our command. If they're doing any traffic law violations, that's something we can address. But if you guys want to change signage and lights, then that's a little deeper than HPD.
Officer,
Yes.
as they come down Ward, towards Lunalilo, it's one lane. All of a sudden, about 40 or 50 yards before Lunalilo, it turns into two lanes without any striping or anything.
Yes.
And it's that far right-hand curb that cannot see anyone turning left off of Ward.
Mhm.
It's almost all the accidents occur from that initial point.
Yes.
So
I agree.
they did some striping, I'd say about 6 months ago, and it's done nothing. It just didn't alleviate the problem.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you. We do respond to a lot of accidents over there. So it is something to look into.
Okay, are there any
No.
further questions from board members? Seeing none, are there any questions from attendees? Okay, if you could, yes, if you could come up to the microphone, please, and give us your name.
Hello, my name is Janvier Witham. So my question for HPD is, I know that this park itself is staffed when there's ongoings in the buildings, but when it is not staffed, is it up to HPD to respond to calls as far as enforcing the park rules?
So yes, anything park rules at this park and any city and county park, we do enforce. So if there is anything, you guys can call it in. You have to go off of the sign. So each park is different. Some allow animals, some don't, some allow carts, some don't. So you would have to look at the signage in the park, but you can call us for any of those violations. And park closure is island-wide. I think most parks are either 9 or 10, so we can always enforce that. Did that answer your question? Yeah, what exactly are you?
Would you mind repeating your question into the microphone? Thank you so much.
Apologies. So I'm thinking as far as things that are not on the sign. So like situations where DPR has determined that people will need a permit for whatever activity they're doing. And then there's nobody here at the park staff, as far as park staff, to enforce that.
So anything permit wise, yes, we can enforce it, but they either have to have the permit or they don't have the permit. So if they have the permit, we're gonna read the permit, we're gonna follow what the permit says. If they can't provide the permit, then obviously they don't have the permit. So usually whatever they are doing, I don't know what you're talking about directly, but should be shut down.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any, okay, we can bring a microphone to you.
Okay, I forgot to ask you, is it on? Did they catch that purse snatcher? You know, the one that rides a moped or the motorcycle and just, they kind of like, grab the females, drag them on their bikes until they get the purse or they cut it off. Are you aware of that? Oh, you didn't know?
I don't know. We have a lot of purse snatchings. I can look into it and ask Sergeant Wakabayashi, who is the daytime normal sergeant for Sector 2. But I didn't hear anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, because Ken was talking to us about.
Was it recently?
What was that?
A while ago.
It was a flavor of last month and the month before.
I can talk to
Yeah.
Sergeant Wakabayashi.
Okay.
I can get that answer for you, June.
Yeah,
I'll find out.
we didn't get an answer.
Yeah.
If the person got caught.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll make sure he tells you. No problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'll talk
Are there any further questions? Oh, back to Robert.
Thank you. I recall 2 or 3 decades ago, they had legislation that reduced the noise that motorcycles make. We live in the hot spot right there at Ward and Little Elo, and it is unbelievable. The noise, it's these small, highly compressed engines that make noises. It just bobbles the mind. Is there any effort, or has there been any effort made legislatively, or do you get complaints about it? What is or what can be done about this? Thank you.
So we do get a lot of complaints. Actually, it comes in as noise complaints, loud mufflers and whatnot. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. By the time we respond to the complaint, the motorcycle is gone, the car is gone. So the only time we can enforce it is if we do have the vehicle or the bike there with us. So that's just me being completely honest as far as how much we can do with that.
Can your multitude of complaints have any influence on city council in terms of legislation to, like, we have to have safety checks, et cetera, et cetera? I think every motorcycle on the highway, a two-wheel driven vehicle should be subject to a volume test.
I mean, I also think that loud noise can kind of get to you, but yeah, we can take it to the city. There is laws in place. Like I said, it's hard to enforce once the calls come in and they're gone when we go to that area.
I've been waiting years for this.
Well, fortunately,
Thomas Square is one of the most historical spots on this island.
Uh-huh.
This is where we took the control from England and turned it over to the monarchy, although it lasted a short time. When they made the new fountain, it was just fantastic with the water spouts going up. COVID shut that down. But still, there are people sleeping permanently set up. Now, I understand, I've talked with the security from Blaisdell. That's what I've been told, because I see security vehicles there. And they tell me it's their responsibility to patrol. But lately, it's permanent camps have been established. You can't even walk on the cement around Thomas Square. What can be done about that? Is that your matter now that the legislation is in, or is it something that has to go back to city council again?
So it definitely falls on HPD. And actually, speaking of Thomas Square, we enforce during the day, and they kind of play this game, right? They stay in the park during the day, and then at night they either go to private property. If they do stay in the park, they do. There is enforcement. So personally, I do take a group out. We go about once a week, at least. We try to go 5 times a month, and we perform what's called SPOs, and we go within the parks, and we do personally cite and arrest people that are within the park at night. So we do clear out Thomas Square. I personally do with my guys and my girls at night. During the day, like I said, they go back in there. A lot of them go on private property at night. But if they are in the park, they are getting cited or arrested. Personally, we have been doing that. It's probably been going on since March at least, or we've been going at least 5 times a month. So I can answer that for you. We have been doing enforcement.
Okay. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And then next up, we have filling of vacant seats. Interested residents must bring current proof of residency to the board meeting or contact neighborhood board assistant Curtis Hayashi to verify residency before the meeting. We have 4 vacant seats in Subdistrict 1, Tantalus, Mott-Smith, and Heulu. I believe we have one here to fill a vacancy. If you don't mind, if you'd like to come up and tell us a bit about who you are.
So hello to the board and to the community. My name is Janvier Witham. I've lived in Makiki now for over 3 years. I am an engineer by education and profession. I frequent the parks around here, and I'm always walking around the neighborhood, so I see, within walking distance of my place, a lot of things that's going on. I heard about the vacancy for my sub-district and decided to step up.
Does anyone have any questions?
Agreed. Yes, you need a wahine,
Absolutely.
at least one.
Okay, with no further questions, I believe we can go straight into, oh, yes, nomination. Okay, Steelquist nominates. Ian seconds. Okay. Okay, and then we shall conduct the vote.
If board members could just say Witham, if you're voting for Janvier Witham to fill the vacant sub-district 1 seat. Char Witham. Salasa. Absent. Eberhard. Witham. Okay. Mitchell.
Witham.
Nakamoto. Witham. Peck.
Witham.
Ross. Witham. Steelquist. Witham. Kawano. Witham. Chan. Did he step out? Chan. Okay, no vote. Lee. Witham. Okay, and Peters. Witham. Thank you. Witham has 10 votes and will fill the sub-district 1 seat.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and take a quick recess to carry out the ceremonies and. It'll also get you a place to sit.
There's a chair right there.
Raise your right hand.
You just spell her name. How do you spell her name? Thank you.
I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
that I will faithfully support
that I will faithfully support
the Constitution and the laws
the Constitution and the laws
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the State of Hawaii,
of the State of Hawaii,
the Charter and laws
the Charter and laws of
of the City and County of Honolulu,
the City and County of Honolulu,
the provisions of the neighborhood care
and the provisions of the neighborhood plan,
I will conscientiously and impartially
and will conscientiously and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
as a member of the neighborhood board
as a member of the neighborhood board,
to which I have been elected. To which I've been.
to which I have been elected and or appointed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Could just fill this out. There's a appendage tag.
I'm prepared.
Just like that.
Yes.
You can get that after.
Yeah.
I'll get a copy after the meeting.
Or if you could give me the copy.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your be here.
I mean.
Silver was present.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Rhythm, okay. We'll measure both notes.
Did you make any?
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll call us back from recess. Mitchell.
Yeah, did the neighborhood commission agree to make the District 1 seats at large so that we could fill them?
That's later in the initial convening business, a request to the commission to change the representation of all members on this board from sub-districts to at large.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'll. Or if is that about the? Wait, what? Oh.
Pardon me, for Mitchell, if he's getting some deja vu, it's because we actually did do that for the final 3 months of our previous term, but that was only for the previous term. And now we're looking at doing it for the full 2-year term coming up. Thank you very much.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So now we'll go ahead and go into the election of officers to serve until Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. And we shall start with the election of the chair. I guess I'll hand this off to vice chair.
I nominate Char.
Okay. Second from Harris. Okay, and it's been a long time since we've done elections, so remind me. So we're looking for any more nominations? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Okay, state Char if you intend to vote for Char, or you could none of these candidates or abstain. Char. Okay. Salasa. Absent. Silva. Char. Eberhard. Char. Mitchell.
Char.
Char. Nakamoto. Char. Peck.
Char.
Char. Ross. Char. Steelquist. Char. Kawano. Char. Chan. Char. Lee. Char. Peters.
I don't know the gentleman my first time here.
Okay. Is that a vote for Char? Abstain or no vote? Abstain. Okay. And Witham. Abstain. Okay. The motion carries with 11 votes and 2 abstentions. Congratulations.
Okay, moving on to the vice chair. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I'd like to volunteer to be vice chair.
Okay, so that's a nomination by Steelquist for Steelquist. Do we have any second? Eberhard, seconds. Richard.
I nominate Ian Ross.
I'm honored. I'm going to say no to this, but thank you very much, Richard. It's very much appreciated.
Okay, are there any further nominations? Seeing none, we'll go into roll call.
All right, same thing. Vice Chair, Steelquist is the only candidate. Needs a quorum of votes. Char, Steelquist, Salasa, absent, Silva, Steelquist, Eberhard, Steelquist, Mitchell,
Steelquist.
Steelquist, Nakamoto, Steelquist, Peck,
Steelquist.
Steelquist, Ross, Steelquist, Kawano, Steelquist, Chan, Steelquist, Lee, Steelquist, Peters, abstain, Witham, abstain. The motion carries 11 votes for Steelquist and 2 abstentions. And then are there any, I'll just conduct, are there any nominations for secretary? Yes.
Would Nakamoto or Silva be interested in the office of secretary? I'm just curious for you two. I would like to nominate Silva as he didn't specifically say no.
Nomination for Silva to serve as secretary. Silva, do you accept the nomination? Silva accepts the nomination. Is there a second? Second by Char. Okay. Silva for secretary. Char. Silva. Oh, sorry. Are there any other nominations? All right, nominations have closed. Going to a vote now. Char. Silva. Salasa is absent. Silva. Silva. Eberhard. Silva. Mitchell.
Silva.
Mitchell for Silva. Nakamoto. Silva. Peck.
Silva.
Silva. Ross. Silva. Steelquist. Silva. Kawano. Silva. Chan. Silva. Lee. Silva. Peters. Abstains. And Witham. Abstains. The motion carries 11 votes for Silva and 2 abstentions. Silva has been elected secretary. And now, treasurer, are there any nominations for treasurer? Treasurer would serve as the chair pro tem if the chair, vice chair, and secretary are absent. And you could request funding if the board wants to have any tabling activities.
I nominate Ian Ross.
Ross is nominated. Is there a second? Or do you accept? Okay, Kawano. Is there another nomination you would like to make? Yes.
I just want to say, when I first joined the board, oh boy, I'm looking at the calendar right now, 8 years ago, my first day, I was elected treasurer. Steelquist might recall this. So for our new members, this is definitely a position that you can feel free to step into as one of your first things. And we have a history of electing new people into the office of treasurer.
All right, well, Witham self-nominates. Ross seconds. Okay. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. Witham for board treasurer. Char. Witham. Salasa absent. Silva. Witham. Eberhard. Witham. Mitchell. Oh, wait. Mitchell. Nakamoto. Witham. Peck.
Witham.
Witham. Ross. Witham. Steelquist. Witham. Kawano. Witham. Chan. Witham. Lee. Witham. Peters. Abstain. And Witham. Witham. Okay. 12 votes for Witham and 1 abstention. Witham now is the board treasurer.
Okay, next up is determination of regular meeting date, time, location, and online WebEx option. So every third Thursday at 6 o'clock here at the second floor of the old Makiki Library, and online with the online WebEx option. I guess motion to accept the as is. Second by Steelquist. Well, I guess discussion. Does anyone have any any alternate time that you think would be appropriate? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote. Oh, by acclamation. Okay, are there any abstentions or no votes? Yes, Steelquist. Oh, yeah, that comes next. Yes, we will definitely take holidays. Okay, so are there any rejections or abstentions? Seeing none, we have our regular meeting date, time, location, and online WebEx option. Next up, determination of recess schedule. We have available to us up to 3 recesses between July 1st and June 30th with no consecutive recesses per Neighborhood Board Plan 2-14-109. Historically, we take off December. We've been historically also the most active board, or we trend towards not taking off a July or not July. We trend towards not taking June off. Well, I suppose I'll at least motion for taking December off like we traditionally have. Second by Ian Ross. Discussion. Would anyone like to change our recess in December? Yes. Robert.
How heavily attended are those meetings? Because I'm always off during Christmas and we take our vacation in August. So my question is, what is your attendance like? Do others not show up and you have a sparse attendance?
That's a good question. For December, I would not know because we have never had a meeting in December. But lately, I believe our attendance has been not too shabby, I believe. Because normally the June meeting is a lame duck session for most other boards, but we actually had, 10, 11 of us show up. I hope that answers the question. Oh, sorry. And then you're asking about August. Okay. Well, August is usually the first meeting after our convening meeting, so it's usually exceptionally well attended. I'm sorry? Yeah. So, yeah, usually August is the one where we don't miss anybody. Okay. Is there any further discussion for December being our recess month? Seeing none, are there any abstentions or objections? Seeing none, we'll take our recess in December. Next up, we have adopting our board meeting rules of speaking. So right now, we have anyone wishing to speak is asked to raise their hand. When recognized by the chair, address comments to the chair. Speakers are encouraged to keep their comments under 3 minutes, and those giving reports are urged to keep their reports under 3 minutes. Please silence all electronic devices. The board may take action on any agenda item as required by the Sunshine Law. Specific issues not noted on this agenda cannot be voted on unless added to the agenda. A 2/3 vote of the 17-member board is needed to add an item to the agenda. No item shall be added to the agenda if it is of reasonably major importance and action thereon by the board will affect a significant number of persons. The big part of our rules of speaking are that we are allowing speakers 3 minutes, and those giving reports are urged to keep their reports under 3 minutes. I motion that we keep this the same. Second by Harris. Discussion. Does anyone? Ian.
I think we all notice that sometimes things go long. I think for reports, that's often, very necessary. And just so for the new members, as Chair Char might be, nominating these rules, it's incumbent upon all of us to enforce them. And we shouldn't always expect Nathan to be the bad guy who cuts people off. We can all take on some of that role. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Okay, is there any further discussion? Is there any, okay, John?
We have traditionally been a very discussion-oriented board, be able to discuss it. But we always do it by having short, well, go ahead. And actually, the chair will probably, well, not physically, but close to physically, if you go on and on and on, he'll cut it off, which is very good. We appreciate that.
Why, thank you, John. But Yeah. Okay. Seeing no further discussion, are there any objections or abstentions from adopting 3 minutes for speakers or encouraging speakers and those giving reports to keep their comments under 3 minutes? Seeing none, we have our rules for speaking. Next up, we have the request the neighborhood commission to change the representation of the members on neighborhood board number 10 from subdistricts to the district at large. This is a bit bigger. We have historically had a problem with one of our subdistricts not being filled. For this election cycle, it winds up being subdistrict 1. Previously, it was subdistrict 2. Even before that, it was subdistrict 3. So we've always had a problem with, having at least one subdistrict not being filled. But making everything at large gives the opportunity for everyone to participate. And historically, we have had those people show up and say, hey, I want to fill your vacancy. I want to serve my community. And we've had to be like, well, we're so sorry because you just happen to live just across the street. And that doesn't work. So by converting this all to at large, that gives the opportunity for everyone to participate and really own their neighborhood. That's that. And then I will motion, I believe we have to motion to accept this. Yes. So motion to request the neighborhood commission to change the representation of the members on neighborhood board number 10 from subdistricts to the district at large. Do we have a second? Second by John Steelquist. Okay, and I believe you had comments.
The idea for this is this board has all kinds of people. They're single family up above. There's condos down here. There's almost nobody on Punchbowl, but so when we started the neighborhood board, when Frank Bossy started the neighborhood boards, he said, let's be broad and let get everybody a chance. And we've never had a problem with this. So I would have, 5 years ago, I would have voted against it. But I think we have grown up about it. So I think we don't need to not have at large. At large is a good idea now.
Okay, Robert.
Having past served on the Waianae Neighborhood Board, it represented Nanakuli, Ma'ili, Makaha, Ohiki-Lower, the ranch. Those communities were all involved at large. And I think more was accomplished that way because, well, what about Nanakuli? They have this problem, but we're only in Waianae. So I think it's a good move because a community is not just one set location. It's geographic, it's cultural, it's all those attributes put into one. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Ian.
Chair, I also want to speak in favor. I believe we're one community. I think when we go around and we hear issues, they can be very specific, like I'm concerned about this intersection, et cetera. But it often comes down to housing, homelessness, cost of living. We're concerned about, water and things like that. And I'm finding more and more we're agreeing on the biggest issues. So I don't think we are as concerned about the exact approximate geographic representation as much. And I think we've done a good job when someone is from a specific, block and they have a specific problem of listening to them and trying to work through solutions. Next, I want to say that vacancies impede progress. For 3 or 4 meetings last term, we were unable to pass any resolutions due to attendance. And there were people who attended who wanted to join the board, but they lived in the wrong sub-district. And I think we should, try our best to be a board that can get things done. And a part of that is filling vacancies. And to kind of close out that idea, many of you in the audience who live in this community may not have had a chance to vote for anyone on this board. If we don't have enough people running, you don't even receive a ballot. And under this idea, I suspect that everyone in our community going forward will receive a ballot every 2 years with a list of candidates. And that will mean more people will be consistently reminded this neighborhood board exists. And I think that's very good. And one final thought. There were people such as in my sub-district where I ran in, sub-district 2, I believe there was only one person didn't get on when they ran. And that was just because they lived 1 or 2 blocks away from somewhere else. And I think that everyone should have an equal opportunity to be considered. So I'm proudly in support of your motion, Chair.
Thank you, Ian. So we've had 3 opinions in favor. Do we have anyone to speak against converting to all at large? Seeing none. Tom, you could come up and give us your name and speak into the mic.
Thank you, Chair. Not speaking in opposition, okay, but on the public side and not on the table. I'm Tom Heinrich and speaking in my individual capacity. Many of you know me for too many years. And for my past experience as a member and longtime chair of the Manoa Neighborhood Board, having served as a member of the Neighborhood Commission and served as executive secretary for the system, this question, limiting it for the moment to at-large versus sub-district. This is a question that a number of the boards have faced and addressed in different ways. I speak in support of going at-large and want to especially note that you are addressing, the way I hear the motion at this moment, you are addressing only one element of the organization of this board, and that is election by either at-large or sub-district basis. You are ignoring, and I will recommend that you continue to ignore for the moment, the number of seats on the board. That is a separate issue, as well as other questions perhaps of the district boundary. And I refer to the exterior boundary, not interior sub-district boundaries. So first point is I personally support going to at-large for some of the reasons well stated. And I particularly appreciate what we usually don't talk about, and that is the difficulty at election time when, for lack of candidates in certain areas, just enough candidates in one area, but not in the district as a whole, a number of voters are not able to participate in the vote based on that breakout. I do strongly urge this board to take more time to address, in fact, the number of seats and, in fact, questions of the exterior boundary. That's something that John Steelquist and I have talked about for years. Others of you I've talked to. And the bottom line is, I strongly urge that the motion be amended to be very clear that what this board is requesting of the Neighborhood Commission, in keeping with one of the avenues available under the neighborhood plan, is that you are requesting the Neighborhood Commission to authorize the change from 3 sub-districts, the elimination of the sub-districts, to going all at large for the current 17 seats, so that you are addressing clearly that you're not addressing the number of seats in this motion, and that it be effective as soon as the Neighborhood Commission can act on this and be permanent. You want to make clear that you're not just talking about the remainder of the term until June 30, 2027. You're making this change from sub-district to at-large as a permanent request. That will deal with one of those several major questions in terms of the organization, the composition, and the actual geographic layout of the district. So I do recommend that some clarity be added to the motion in order to accomplish the major point that you're making. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. I guess a quick question for the neighborhood assistant. I believe this request was actually put there by the commission, if you will. Well, because when I received the okay. And then would the commission have the understanding that that are converting all of our sub-districts to at-large, moving forward, as Tom stated, okay. So
Question.
Arthur.
I'd like to move that this be set aside for further discussion at our next meeting, because we have several new members here that aren't fully addressing this issue that is before us.
Okay, we have a motion to
look
set this
around
aside.
us. Do we see the ocean? Do we see the mountains? We see condos, don't we? Everywhere. How many
Okay,
of those
Robert.
condos have absentee owners
Robert, really quick, your comments are slightly out of order. We do have a motion to, or someone motioning to effectively table this. Do we have a second to table?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I come back in?
If it's not tabled, give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay, Harris seconds. Discussion. So as the one motion, or as the one who motioned to table. Yeah. Okay. It is my recommendation that we actually do not table this, but is there anyone to speak? Any discussion? Okay, Richard.
Yeah, I don't want to vote to table it. I think we should deal with it today. I think the explanation and reasons are quite clear to everybody. So that's my position.
Okay, Jean-Vier.
Does anybody here know, as I understood from Mr. Steelquist, perhaps I misunderstand that the neighborhood board began at large? No. Oh, okay, I see. So is there anybody here that knows the rationale for making it into sub-districts to begin with?
Sure. When we originally took the number of people in the Makiki area, we tried to figure out where Makiki was. And it came out pretty well. And secondly, the original concern, well, the single family north of Nihoa are so different from the King Street that we didn't want to bias one way or the other. As I said, we are long since that. So it was, you know how many are still, how many are not yet at large? How many have changed?
Okay, and then Tom has a more comprehensive answer to that as well.
Excuse me, I do not have an answer. Point of parliamentary information. I believe that there is no discussion allowed on a motion to table. You consider that. You have now allowed the discussion to go off the motion that is on hand. So I would provide that information that the question right now is simply whether to table or not the main motion. Okay, as far as I heard, to the next meeting. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for your clarification. Okay, so I suppose we'll go into, are there any objections or abstentions for tabling this motion? Yeah. Oh, there are. So there are. Okay, so there are objections and abstentions. So we'll go into roll call vote to table this motion.
All right, to table, require vote is 12, 2/3. Aye or nay or abstain for the motion to table. The original motion is to consider the request to the neighborhood commission to change the representation of members on the neighborhood board, number 10, from sub-districts to at-large effective immediately, retaining the 17 board seats. And that would be a permanent change if the commission approves it. Char. Nay. Salasa is absent. Silva. Nay. Eberhard. Okay, 4. Mitchell.
Nay.
Nay to table. Nakamoto. Nay. Peck.
Nay.
Nay. Ross. Nay. Steelquist. Nay. Kawano. Nay. Chen. Nay. Lee. Nay. Peters. Nay. And Witham. Nay. 1 vote in favor of the motion to table. The motion fails.
Okay, is there, so now that we're back to the main motion, is there any further discussion? Yes, Robert.
Just, there have to be many, many people that own condos here that don't live in our district. who would like to have a say in terms of the kinds of things that might be effective to make their particular situation, their condominium, the area around them, improved. And I think if they had a say through this, I think we'd see a lot more improvement taking place within our condominium structure that we don't have now, simply because people are not involved here. They're outside. If they could come in, I think we'd find a lot of progress.
Thank you for your comments, Robert. Next up, Harris.
Yeah, we have some new board members, so I supported the motion to table in respect of the new members. But overall, it was interesting to see what the vote came down to. And the reason why, because I'm out of Subdistrict 2, which is a really small area. And I was elected, quite some time ago. And I was very fortunate that I was elected and served on the board. And it was beneficial in the sense that I represented the neighborhood that I live in. However, coming on the board, it made me understand that it was really a larger geographic location, and allowed me to really look at representing that entire district. And also I experienced the difficulties in getting quorum. And so getting quorum actually doesn't really affect us on the board. It affects the residents and the individuals who come out to the meeting and want to speak up or want certain resolutions taken care of. But so they come out, and we're very disappointed because we cannot help them. And so this at-large opportunity allows us to get business done, hopefully with a higher probability. And that's why I voted nay to table it, because it's very important. And I've witnessed it, and I feel really bad when we have residents come out to want something taken care of, but the board, there's no quorum. So thank you.
Nathan,
Thank you,
please. I
Harris.
recall out in Waipahu, our guest speaker made a very good point. We do not determine legislation or make decisions. We recommend to the appropriate agency. And I think our guests here tonight must understand this. We're a clearinghouse. We hear it, but we pass it on. That's all we can do. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah. I've been on the neighborhood board for 30 years. And I have a website on Nextdoor that monitors all the different neighborhood boards and reports everything. And this problem about quorum is a major issue, not only in our board, but in all boards. We have 3 people that are missing that we cannot fill. If we don't allow this to happen, we're not going to fill this. So we need to fill this as soon as possible. So I think we need to pass this motion. And like I said, it's a problem of all boards. If you go and look at all the different areas that are broke down into subgroups, there's major areas that don't have representation. So, this is not just a problem in Makiki, it's a problem with the structure of the neighborhood boards system.
Thank you for your comments, Sam. Richard, is it in favor or against the motion? Okay, go for it.
Okay, now say, maybe you can help us, if the last election was at large, would somebody like, and I've noticed in the different districts, there's significant differences in how many votes are coming in. So this could negatively impact the district that has the least number of votes, and more folks will get skewed to the district that has more votes. So Harris, would you be in that? Like if we had gone to at large, would you maybe not have gotten elected because of that? Yeah, yes.
We're in the presence of the number one vote getter. Harris was the number one vote receiver. He's
But-
probably too humble to say it.
Okay, but overall, would there be a different seating here if it had been an at-large election?
Given that, so I examined the elections before. Traditionally, Subdistrict 1 receives the most votes. However, this election, Subdistrict 1 only had 2 of us running for 6 seats, so we didn't see any votes. So to your question, it's difficult to say. In part because the traditionally largest number of votes didn't participate this time around. So, okay, is there any further discussion? We have heard quite a bit in favor of passing this motion. Is there anyone to speak against passing the motion? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. Is there? Yeah, we'll do roll call.
Okay, roll call vote to request the neighborhood commission to change the representation of the members on neighborhood board number 10, Makiki, Lower Punchbowl-Tantalus, from sub-districts to the district at large, effective upon the neighborhood commission's favorable vote, as well as your board's vote tonight, keeping the 17 seats. Okay, Char. Aye. Salasa. Absent. Silva. Aye. Eberhard. Abstain. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Nakamoto. Aye. Peck.
Aye.
Aye. Ross. Aye. Steelquist.
Aye.
Aye. Kawano. Aye. Chen. Aye. Lee. Aye. Peters. Aye. And Witham. Aye. 12 votes in favor and 1 abstention. The motion is passed. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We did it. Okay. Moving on to city reports, Board of Water Supply. Michelle Harmon. Okay, so unfortunately, Michelle Harmon had to leave, so she left in the comments. If there are any questions, please let us know. You can email me or contact us at hbws.org. Okay, moving on to Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Megan Johnson.
Hi, good evening. This is Megan Johnson. I just dropped into the chat a link to the mayor's July 2025 newsletter. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to follow up on some of the questions and issues that were raised at last month's meeting and some of the responses that I was able to obtain from the different city departments. So the first question was, Member Ross had inquired about a second optional right turn lane at South Britannia and Pensacola intersection. I was able to receive a response from the Department of Transportation Services. They will be conducting an investigation, which may require research, site inspections, and an analysis of the area's traffic collision history. DTS will inform the board of the results investigation by February 2026. Your patience and understanding are appreciated. The next issue was, it was actually a question about the Ward Avenue contraflow lanes. What is the reason for the removal of the morning rush hour traffic contraflow lanes on Ward Avenue starting at Lunalilo Street and ending shortly after King Street? And this is again a response from the Department of Transportation Services. They advised that the contraflow lanes on both Ward Avenue and Kapiolani Boulevard were temporarily suspended to accommodate the city's Department of Design and Construction's roadway resurfacing project on Kapiolani Boulevard. This suspension allowed the Department of Transportation Services to evaluate the necessity of a Ward Avenue contraflow. Based on their observations, the Department of Transportation Services determined that the removal of the contraflow lanes did not significantly impact traffic flow or congestion in the area. In addition, the removal allowed the Department of Facility Maintenance to utilize the daily traffic cone setup and removal crew to other critical city tasks. As a result, the contraflow on Ward Avenue has been discontinued at this time to simplify operations. The next question was, can Department of Transportation Services look into putting clearer red lines, defined parking zones, or other safety measures near 1517 Makiki Street because parked cars are getting too close to the in and out ramp of the building combined with speeding cars. And again, this is a response from the Department of Transportation Services. They will be conducting an investigation, which may require research, site inspections, and an analysis of the area's traffic collision history. Upon completion, the Department of Transportation Services will take necessary action to address the identified needs or concerns. Your patience and understanding are appreciated. The next concern that was expressed related to the Tipsy Pig establishment and that there had been ongoing neighborhood safety and disturbance concerns. So the Honolulu Police Department advised that from June 24th through July 6, 2025, District 1 Night Watch Patrol officers made checks around the Tipsy Pig establishment to address the ongoing issues regarding motorcycles, speeding, and alleged illegal activities. During the checks, the officers did not observe any large gatherings of motorcycles, traffic violations, or illegal activities. The officers will continue to make checks in the area to address the issue and take appropriate enforcement action when violations occur. And the Honolulu Police Department encourages the public to call 911 at the time they see illegal activities occurring so that officers can immediately be dispatched to the area to address the issue. And the final inquiry was regarding Makiki District Park Building 42 radiation concerns. And the question that was posed to the Department of Parks and Recreations was whether the department was aware of this community concern, and if so, what information does the Department of Parks and Recreation have about the Building 42 radiation concerns? And the response from the Department of Parks and Recreations is that they have not received any formal reports or findings from the Department of Health indicating confirmed radiation hazards in the facility. However, they are aware of past community concerns regarding radiation in the basement area, specifically in reference to alleged gamma readings in the piping near the old shower area. The Department of Parks and Recreation understands that a board member stated these readings were taken personally and referenced being posted online, but no verifiable documentation or data has been shared with the Department of Parks and Recreation to date. The Department of Parks and Recreation welcomes the Department of Health's review and defers to their expertise in this matter. The Department of Parks and Recreation is not the lead agency for radiological assessments, and they rely on the Department of Health to conduct any necessary testing or provide official guidance. The Department of Parks and Recreation remains committed to ensuring the safety of the park facilities and will fully cooperate should the Department of Health initiate any investigation or provide further direction. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report?
I guess I will take this opportunity to make the immediate question. So the report that they stated that the report that stated that the building is safe is from 50 years ago. I acknowledge that 50 years ago it was probably safe. However, could we please get a review of the containment, because it has been 50 years, and as we know, containers trend towards deteriorating over the course of 50 years.
I will
And then-
make the comments
Yeah.
to the Department of Parks and Recreation. Thank you.
Oh, and then Ian is going to add to that.
I just fear that every time we brought up this issue related to radiation, people go to Google and look up like reports. And I think what the board is trying to express is a desire for someone to go down with like a Geiger counter or other related materials and do some like actual investigation. I think that would make a lot of people feel better. You know, I don't want to say anything negative about analysts. I used to be a legislative analyst. I was the nerd behind the computer who looked up all the forms. I feel like we need someone who's, you know, wearing one of the high visibility vests to go look into this more than we need someone who's going to bring up all of the reports. Now, all of that said, I appreciate you for staying on top of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we had a slew of hands, so we'll start with Harris, then Steelquist. Harris.
Megan, thank you very much for reporting. I know that on the Tipsy Pig 2 establishment, Nancy DiPiccolo-Zunani is the resident who comes to our meetings on a regular basis. I'm not sure she's here tonight, but she comes regularly. And so we part of the Nice Neighborhoods Committee, we went on the 4th of July to do just an observation. And I'd like to thank Chair Nathan. Nancy was there, as well as Senator Fukunaga. Appreciate her taking time to join us. And yeah, it was uneventful because it was very quiet. There's no fireworks. And it was, everybody was at their best behavior. And I think whatever the case of this positive change, I think is good. I think there's a message and awareness that was shared with the establishment's owner that they were really disrespectful in the community. And then we also went again to observe on July 12th, because they do post a lot of Instagram notices of different type of car events and so forth that would, like this coming Saturday is a hot rod event. So they're looking at having that. But for whatever reason, I think now there's a lot of eyes on this area. And so I'm very hopeful that we're going to go in the right direction. One thing that I did learn was that we had invited HPD and we invited the Liquor Commission to come, the investigation of the Liquor Commission group. And we found out that Liquor Commission investigators, they're off on the holidays. So it really was that we really couldn't have them come out because they're on holiday. And so maybe that's something that can be looked into, because these holiday times are probably when the alcohol and liquor establishments should be monitored in terms of making sure that they follow the guidelines. But again, I'd like to thank you. And I think there's a lot of undertone awareness that is being brought up to the establishment so that they kind of be much more respectful to the residents around the community. And lastly, I'd like to ask if, as we walked around the area on Palm Drive, there's like overgrown trees. So there's no parking signs, but the trees are so grow all over the sign that you can't even see the sign. So if they could plant some type of clearance of those overgrown trees so that the signs can be well seen. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Okay, next, Steelquist.
My recollection is when we talked about the cobalt, that it was in fact liquid cobalt used to the plant roots to truck the water flow. And it was diluted, and it was on the concrete out in the middle, which is currently underground. But there is something there, and I think you know HSPA, they will have history of that, but that's what really cares.
Okay, next, I'll take Chuck and then Robert. Chuck.
Megan, I also wanted to thank you for all the due diligence that you do in answering our questions. Much appreciated. I have two questions tonight. The first question involves three affordable housing projects between Wilder and Lunalilo on Pensacola. So Wilder, down Pensacola to Lunalilo, there's three projects that are affordable housing projects that are going on. And the first question I wanted to ask you was if someone could enlighten us on why it's taking so long for Penn's Metro to be occupied. It's the building has been up and ready probably at least 3 or 4 months. And I know they had a blessing there about not more than 2 months ago. So all of us, the constituents, are asking, why isn't anybody moving in? And as of today, there's trucks and from Spectrum and I don't know, some other utility companies still in the building when we thought it was already finished. So it's a very frustrating project for us because it took so long and there was so much construction on the road and, you know, just so many delays. So that's number one. Number two, on Wilder and Pensacola, there's that corner there, there's a big project that's coming up and no one really seems to know what's going on. So we'd like to know if somebody could, probably somebody in Kevin Auger's office, who's the Director of Housing and Land Management, he's been very good about communicating with other projects. In the most recent letter that we had just passed around this evening among the board members, one of the things he mentioned in his letter for the project on 1421, that's the third project that's next to Penn's or almost next to Penn's Metro. He said on the next phase for 1421, he's looking at a coordinated planning in close collaboration with the community. So with that project, hopefully we'll see some kind of transparency with the board and the residents in our community. But the other one that I mentioned on Wilder and Pensacola, that one is coming up really fast. And it looks like a really huge project that's gonna have, I'm sure, a lot of impact on the community. And hopefully it's good impact, but you know, in case there's any bad impacts, we like to kind of head it off at the pass. So I pass my time back. Thank you.
Thank you. I will research those questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, next up, Robert.
Sorry to take so much time, but I must live in a hot spot. That counterflow lane has created havoc for the Academy Tower. We have an abundance of traffic of our own residents who have to go out one way. When we come onto Ward, when the counterflow existed, right on. Now we wait 3 and 4 signals, and if someone's nice, they let us in. The traffic is backed up to Green Street and beyond. It just doesn't make sense as to why it was taken away, because the impact upon the residents is the key thing. And sometimes it's very frustrating to try to get out of our own driveway. In fact, not so long ago, I got out of the car when my wife was driving and stood in the street in front of a car to help her to get out. That's how, you know, and that's not right, you know, and I'm sure there are other idiots like me that would do that.
Thank you for the comments. I will share those with the Department of Transportation Services and see if they have any response.
Kahanu?
Hello, Chair Megan. This is my first physical board meeting, and I was the one that asked the question about the contraflow lane. But is there any detailed explanation that we could get from DTS? Or is just the conclusion of whatever project that was happening on Kapiolani
I
affected.
can, okay, I will ask them if they're able to provide more specific information and just more
Thank
of
you very
I
much.
guess their rationale.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Arthur.
My concern is Kenau and Pensacola. Right now, 8:30 to 10 o'clock, the traffic is backed up past Victoria, waiting to make a right-hand turn on Pensacola. Why can't we put a right-hand turn, second one, down at Pensacola to alleviate that problem? The problem is also compounded by people going to Chick-fil-A. They start backing up on Kenau, then onto Pensacola, and then onto Baratania Street. So if we had another right-hand turn on Pensacola, people could get around that congestion. So can we examine that to see if we can solve this problem? I live on Victoria and Kenau, and like was mentioned before, cars that are seeing Kenau backed up, they go down Victoria now, and I can't even get out my driveway. Thank you.
Thank you for the comment. I will pose the question to the subject department and I'll get back to you.
Okay, Ian.
All right, I'm back with one other brief one. One of our residents, June, who's in the audience today, she'd highlighted that coming down Pensacola, if I'm correct on that, right on the underpass, there were some tents set up. And with the tents, there were some pretty hard to view wires to prop the tent up that injured the foot of her daughter. And that we've been having encampment issues there for a while. I know that enforcement is a difficult thing overall, but if there's anything that we can do additionally, maybe through social workers and other things to discourage the use of like really difficult to view wires that go into these rather well-used walkways and sidewalks. I think that's really important for the safety of our community. It didn't, in this case, trip her daughter. I believe her daughter is also here today. And we got some pictures of what it looked like and her cut up foot. And with your permission, I'll even forward you this email. June, is that okay with you? I forward the email. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the concern. And yes, any information or photos that you're able to provide would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. And seeing no further questions from board members, are there any questions from attendees? June.
Hello, I have a question. The under the overpass on Pequay Street, we need to have the fence extended, you know, because it's state property on the dirt area behind the sidewalk. So we need that part extended so that the unsheltered cannot stay there and pop their tents and like, you know, Ian shared that the wire was sticking on the sidewalk. Not only was my daughter, well, she got really bad. I mean, her injury was, you know, bad. And then an elderly lady almost tripped over that too, and also the sergeant from HPD. So then we also asking if we could have the sheriff to help HPD because of, you know, the underpass. What is that? And then the former mini park. That needs to be fenced.
I'm sorry, I missed the end of that. The mini park needs to be fenced. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I met the property manager for that, the new owner. So because it's some kind of historical thing that they cannot build there, but then outside their fence, she said it's state property. So they've been sleeping there, blocking the sidewalk, blocking, you know, to the crosswalk, and then I'm in a wheelchair, so then my daughters have to push me on the street. they have to push me, on the street, with oncoming cars, yeah, on P. Quay Street.
Okay. I understand the question. I will
Yes.
raise those concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any further questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Megan.
Thank you.
And moving on to District 5, City Council Member Scott Nishimoto.
Aloha, Chair and Board.
Aloha, Taylor.
Chair, sorry, I just wanted to make sure you could hear me. Yeah, we don't have too many updates. My boss just wanted to share that I think we're about finished drafting the bill we had done for the projects in our community, and so he's planning on introducing it this month for all the Bill 7 type of projects. So he's planning on introducing those this month. Otherwise, he stopped by the Makiki neighborhood community garden meeting recently. I think this past week, he talked about securing the funding, and community members hopefully can work with DPR to actually implement the fencing around the gardens. But otherwise, Scott is here to assist in any way he can. So just please let us know, and I can try to put in risers for any issues in our community.
Are there any questions from any board members? Seeing none, I have a question. So I believe recently in a Civil Beat article, we were mentioned regarding setting up a off-leash dog park at Punahou Square. Would you be able to put in a request for the funding for the fencing to implement that?
Yes, I mean, my boss, that's something he really wants to champion since he started in the city council this year, but that's going to definitely be a priority. He is trying to, in the budget this year, he proposed funding for dog parks specifically in our community. So these are fenced areas within recognized parks. But yeah, he definitely wants to champion that. We saw that the site that they were looking at was that park off of Punahou Street. So regardless, he's definitely going to be championing that over the next year to couple years.
That's good to hear. Richard.
Okay, District 5. So does that include Wilder and Pensacola, that project there?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you get us information? How many units? What it looks like? We haven't seen anything.
Is this the Pence Metro project or a different?
No, this is up at Wilder and Pensacola. It's a new project. It's in construction now. There was a large tree that they cut down right on the corner, and they never came to the board to present their plan or anything to us. I know they're not required to, but so they've been they're just not cooperating at all. I would at least like to see some pictures. So if the councilman can look into that and get us some information on that project. So
Yes.
Wilder and
We
Pensacola.
do have some information on that, so we'll go check with the developer and see what information can be shared with the public. But I definitely think that that's something we can get for you folks.
Yeah, it'd be great if we have it by next meeting.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Did I see somebody else's hand up? Okay. Seeing no more questions from board members, are there any questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Taylor.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep. Next, we have District 6, Councilmember Tyler DeSantos Town.
Who? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So I shared our newsletter, our July newsletter in the chat. One constituent concern we received on July 10th was to request the removal or the moving of barricades on Prospect Street across from Bella Vista Reservoir. DFM got to us pretty quickly on the 14th, and they are sending out a team to investigate to see if they can move the barricades closer to the reservoir, because apparently there's been some loitering and illegal dumping, and so it's as of July 15th, they're sending out a team to investigate. We'll see. We'll follow up on that. And then to add kind of to what Taylor was saying on amending the Bill 7 program, we're reaching out, or we have been this week and prior, to DPP about any recommendations they have for improving the program. I believe it came to our attention that they have maybe some solutions kicking around that they could use to improve ROH Chapter 32. So we hope to have a meeting scheduled by the time I meet with you again next month. But that's my report. If you guys need anything, I'm here.
Okay, thank you for your report. Are there any questions from board members? Seeing none, are there any questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Robin.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Okay, next up, we have community concerns from residents, limited to 2 minutes each. Residents, not board members, can share comments and concerns that are not listed on the agenda per the Sunshine Law. Concerns not on the agenda may be presented, but the board cannot take action. Does anyone have any community concerns they would like to share? Tom.
Thank you, Chair. Tom Heinrich, again, speaking in my individual capacity. Just one thing for now that I'd really like to emphasize to the board to well consider. In the last several minutes, you have had some major topics, scratching the surface again. This is your initial convening meeting. You're just getting started on this term. But whether it's the multitude of affordable housing projects, particularly in certain locations for which there has been none or extremely little community input. I particularly appreciate what Robin Henske and Taylor Date have said in terms of some of the council effort. And I know some of the state elected officials as well are very much aware and concerned about that lack of community input, period, on these projects, okay? But other things such as different locations with pedestrian and traffic safety, so besides Bill 7, okay, my mind's going in terms of some of the other major topics. The key that I wish to emphasize is this. This board always has a full agenda. And the great majority of what's on that agenda are reports that need not be received at every meeting. This is your meeting. What do you and the community wish to discuss and communicate to the other branches of government and the agencies, et cetera, et cetera? And in that regard, my point is that you should well consider a series of special topic meetings, maybe even special meetings. But the key is special topics so that, in fact, I'm sorry, just remember the biggest one, Makiki District Park. You've had a whole bunch of discussion on different specific issues relating to this park alone, or immediately nearby in terms of other parks and recreation facilities that either are in need of various services or improvements or simply adding land in the first place. Well, Makiki District Park, affordable housing, Bill 7, there's a bunch of others that a focused topic for that evening to allow for presentations, invited guests to provide that information, and really provide that opportunity for interaction between the board and the community at those particular meetings, okay? So, Chair, I'll come back to you with more information in the interim, but in the meantime, at the start of this 2 years, you've got a bunch of topics that are definitely deserving of, if not an entire meeting, then the substantial portion of certain meetings in order to help make advancement that way. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any further community concerns? Seeing none, we'll move on to state official reports, starting with Governor Josh Green's representative, Russell Pang.
I'm here, Chair. Thank you very much. Aloha, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good evening. Before I get into what I was planning to discuss, I wanted to address a few things that did come up earlier in the meeting, specifically during Megan's section. Regarding the radiation issue at the Makiki District Park building, I put into the chat room a contact information for the Department of Health's indoor and radiological branch office. My recommendation is that someone from the board and or DPR submit a formal request to the Department of Health's radiological branch to do a formal evaluation. And I can follow up with Megan after. I don't believe she is on this call. I think she had to drop off, but I'll follow up with her after offline and make that recommendation to her. Let's see, several discussions came up regarding the underpass, the freeway underpass around the Pi'ikoi area. All of that is state jurisdiction regarding the homeless issues, regarding the, thank you for bringing to our attention the injury that June's daughter sustained. Chair, if you could also send me that email, then I can forward it off to our team to take proper action. But our homeless coordinator for the Department of Transportation, they do regular cleanups of different homeless encampments. I know they do a lot of work in that area in particular, and they do bring along the police as well as various service agencies. So it's not just sweeping them out, but trying to also provide them with the assistance that they need. But we'll follow up on that as well. And again, if you could provide me with that information about that injury, that would be helpful. Okay, now to get into a few things that I did want to discuss. During the last month's meeting, there was a discussion about repaving, or a question came up about repaving the Ward Avenue overpass. And what I had reported in the last meeting was that there was the Department of Transportation oversees that. And there was a contract that was awarded to a company to do the work. However, there was a protest bid, which required the department to go back and make sure that all of the procurement processes were followed properly. I'm happy to report that that process has been completed. The protest has been resolved, and the work can move forward. However, I don't have a schedule for you yet. So I will continue to monitor this. And when we do get a schedule for the repaving of the Ward Avenue overpass, and that also includes the Keomoko Street overpass, I will definitely update this board. The second item I wanted to discuss has to do with the area around the H1 Punahou Street off-ramp and on-ramp. Two items there. One is we've been getting a lot of concerns from the community about cars going Mauka on Punahou and trying to make a left turn onto the H1 westbound on-ramp. Despite the large no left turn signs, it's dangerous, it's illegal. I know we've got a lot of students from Maryknoll School there. We've got the seniors from Arcadia. So it's a very dangerous situation. The Department of Transportation, we sent out crews to evaluate the situation, and we came up with a solution, and that is we're going to be installing some delineators which will physically prevent a left turn from Punahou onto the on-ramp. And that is scheduled for probably September. I might have more information on that next month. Staying in the same area, that traffic light, when you come off of the H1 freeway onto Punahou, Bingham Street, that's kind of a mess over there at times. So that traffic signal is part of our traffic signal modernization project. So we are currently evaluating that whole situation in that area. And once the evaluation is completed, probably around September, we'll be able to make some recommendations on possible modifications for improving the flow and the safety for that area. And with that, I will take any questions you might have. Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I have one more item. We also have been receiving some community concerns regarding a small parcel on Enos Lane. That's kind of right behind the park, adjacent to the freeway. There's a small parcel and the Department of Transportation owns that, and there is an electrical vault on it. And some of the concerns have to do with excessive overgrowth and a lot of debris. So we're sending out a crew to do some tree trimming, landscaping, and to remove the debris, bottom line. So, and with that, I will take any questions.
Okay, starting with Harris.
Good evening, Russell. Harris Nakamoto. I wanted to ask if you had any follow-up regarding, at our last meeting, we talked about the Punchbowl perimeter, and with the couple of recent fires, there was a request that regarding DHHL and DLNR. Have you gotten any feedback from them in terms of seeing what kind of coordination we can do to come up with a plan in terms of the main culprit is allowing access by having homeless encampments, and then homeless encampments cooking, and then fires, and then spreading. So do you have any updates?
Right. Thank you, Harris. I don't have any specific updates. I did bring it up with the team, and that includes the different agencies that are involved in that area. I will have to get back to you with what their specific plan is. I know our Department of Transportation's homeless coordinator does regular, like I said, cleanups in the area, working with the different agencies. I can check on when the last one is and when the next one is scheduled, but they are on a regular basis. But I will get you some more information on that whole situation on the Punchbowl area. They are aware that the board is very concerned, definitely.
Okay. Chuck first, then Arthur. So Chuck. Wait.
Hi, Russell.
Oh.
Question I have is, I know that Scott was just appointed the insurance commissioner. Where do we stand on the hurricane insurance, the applications, and are they being processed, or is it a waiting period?
Okay. I will have to get back to you on that. I will try to follow up with Scott to see if he has some information on that. So you want to know when are they being processed and what we can expect?
Because most condos are doing their budget right now, and they need to make sure that they have the money in there. And if they're not getting it from the state, that means they have to go out to the market, the excess market, to get the coverage. As per 514B, we have to have 100% coverage on the condos.
Okay, thank you, Chuck.
Oh, that was actually Arthur first.
Oh,
Now
sorry,
for Scott.
sorry. Apologize, Arthur and Chuck.
Okay, Russell, this is Chuck. I have
Hi,
a
Chuck.
question how's it? I have a question regarding Lunalilo Road from Picoy all the way to the on-ramp. Forgive my ignorance, but is that a state or a city road?
I believe that would be state. I
Oh,
believe.
state. Okay. If somebody could, one of your engineers from DOT could look at the road and just check the condition of it, because it's really deteriorating. And as you know, there's thousands of cars that go through that area every day. And there's a lot of potholes and it's a very bad road. So whatever attention could be given to it would be much appreciated. Thank you,
Right.
Russell.
So you're concerned with the section from Picoy to the freeway?
Yeah, on Lunalilo,
Right,
from
okay.
Picoy all the way up to the on-ramp.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Are there any further questions? Robert, and then Richard after that. And then I believe in the interest of time, we'll call it after Richard.
I hesitate driving home tonight with the blinding headlights that have occurred in the last 2 years. It is so, have you experienced this, people? It's unbelievable. How do we correct it? It's manufacturers that are producing this, and they're primarily, I hate to say it, but Japanese cars made in Japan, it seems to me. But whoever's making it, I don't drive at night anymore. This is my first night of driving in quite a few weeks. How can we explore this? Is it a city? Is it a state? Are there recommendations? Can they get information as to can this be corrected? Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. I believe there are some regulations regarding the brightness level. I will have to look into that for you.
Richard.
Russell, about the repaving project, the Ward overpass. I just want to make sure it's going to include the intersection, the full intersection at Ward and Lunalilo. Can you get us that information? Yeah, because that's really bad. Not just the overpass itself, but the intersection.
No, I understand. I understand. Yes, I believe it does include that. I hope it includes that, but I will confirm it for you, Richard.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'm gonna cut the neighborhood board questions short. Are there any from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Russell. Next up, we have State Senator Carol Fukunaga.
I know you have a very full agenda, so in the interest of time, I'd like to respond to the question that one of your members brought up regarding the availability of the hurricane insurance coverage. On the back page, I have a link to the site at the Hurricane Relief Fund where they started up their activities on June 24th, and they notified all the legislators. We did have a briefing with the Hurricane Relief Fund representatives and HPIA in early July. And as of that time, they had received 83 applications. There were about 10 underway at that point, but definitely, my office and I think many of our colleagues would be happy to help because we have been really pushing for a long time to get some sort of relief underway. And the HHRF portion is the first part. The Hawaii Property Insurance Association is going to be providing additional assistance later on this year, but that will not be available until about October. And then the loan program is also going to have to go through rulemaking, so that will take a while. But if there's anything that we can do to,
Calling a recess.
Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I'll call us back from recess. Okay, Arthur.
I just want to comment, Senator, that I appreciate all the work that you and Scott did. on
Arthur, if
getting-
you could speak into the mic. Thank you very much.
Appreciate all the work that you and Scott put in to get this hurricane thing to where it is today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, in the interest of time, Harris.
I just wanted to make a quick comment. Senator Fukunaga, thank you so much. You are present in a lot of our activities, and your participation and your physical being, coming to the meeting and doing what you're doing. Really, I just wanted to recognize and thank you very much for doing an excellent job. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. One of the reasons I come to these meetings is that your board is one of the boards that has begun to meet in person, and we really want to encourage more boards to do that. I know some boards would like to be able to meet in person, but some of the members do not entirely feel safe. So they're still meeting partially remotely. So just to kind of acknowledge and thank the board and the audience for coming to these meetings, because I think it makes a big difference to have everybody in person. Thank you.
Okay, if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact the senator outside of this meeting. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Rep. Della Albalati.
Hi guys. I'm not sure why my video isn't working. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, Christine.
Awesome. Great to see you guys. Our updates are that we are continuing to gather information and any proposals for a special session which the representative supports. We also would love to hear from you guys any impacts you might be experiencing from the federal level, whether that's administrative or regarding the new House budget bill that recently passed. So you know how to contact us. You guys can email us, call us, and we'll get right back to you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you very much, Christine. Yeah, in the interest of time, if you have any questions for this representative or her office, please contact them outside of this meeting. Next, we have Rep. Kim Koko Iwamoto. Okay, seeing none, I'll move on to Rep. Ikaika Olds.
Good evening, everybody. Aloha. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. So just a quick report. My bill HB 943 was signed into law as Act 299. This will establish a substance abuse and mental health treatment center within a program within the Department of Health. Right now, I am conducting our interim 2025 survey. So for those in secure high rises, they should be getting something in the mail soon. And then I'm also walking the neighborhood to deliver to those who are accessible. Hopefully for those who are in attendance, if you're getting it, there's many ways to return the survey. We want to codify what we're getting so that way we can lean into it for bill legislation to get ready for next session. And that is it for me. Any questions?
Thank you for your report, Ikaika. If there, in the interest of time, if there are any questions for the representatives, excuse me, if you could please take them up outside of the meeting. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Ikaika. Moving on to Representative Andrew Garrett. Okay, seeing none from Andrew Garrett, we'll go ahead and move on to board business, starting with the approval of written summary for approval of written summary for video record Thursday, June 19th, 2025. Did anyone have any corrections for our minutes or any Are there any objections or abstentions from accepting our minutes? Seeing none, we have our minutes for the June meeting. Next, we have our designation of board committees and committee chairs. Well, if I'd like to recreate the Nice Neighborhoods Committee with Harris as the chair. And if anyone would like to join the committee, now is the time that we appoint committee members. So I believe we have, yeah, oh, yes. And of importance, members of the public may also join committees. So we have Kahanu, Nancy Depikolzani, myself, Bronson, Ian, Chuck, who would all, oh, and Harris, of course, to join this committee. Yes, I believe Nancy is volunteering for the committee. Okay. I'm sorry? Oh, Claire, would you like to join the Nice Neighborhoods Committee again?
Aloha, Chair Char. Yes, I'd like to stay on the committee.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Yes. Okay, are there any objections to appointing the aforementioned members to the committee? Oh. I'll hand the mic to Harris so he can elaborate on what he's been up to.
The Nice Neighborhoods Committee actually started in different pockets, and primarily it was set up so that when residents who came to our neighborhood board meeting had concerns or issues, then instead of waiting the next month to continue to discuss it, the Nice Neighborhood Committee would follow up with that individual wherever they would live, if it's a issue that they had, and we would follow up. And usually HPD, if it was, some concerns, HPD would come out with us. And in this case with Nancy, with that Tipsy Pig, the Liquor Commission came out with us. And then many of our elected officials, like I mentioned, like Senator Fukunaga came out, or our council members would come out to hear what is going on in that neighborhood, whether it's tied to, for example, Council Member Nishimoto now is working on amendments of Bill 7 because we had an issue of a resident coming down by Ernest Street, some of the developments, and what the development did in terms of affordable housing, which is good, but what it brought to the neighborhood was a lot of crime and a lot of drug dealing and so forth. So we actually went on a Saturday to meet with the residents and kind of went and develop awareness. And so really what Nice Neighborhoods Committee is focused on is really action oriented, and it focuses on having those residents who come to our meetings to have skin in the game in terms of if they are here to tell us of some concerns, is to be able to go back and have them address it. So we've had different sectors that have come, and now they know exactly how to go about with HPD and so forth. And they've kind of, what I would say, they've taken their community back. And Nice Neighborhood is all about community pride, respect, being respectful for our families, kupuna, all of that. And so it's very simple, but at the same time, very effective if those residents really take to heart what they really want to achieve. Thank you. Can come up.
As a resident, if I have a concern, how do I contact
the nice neighborhood committee. I mean, I didn't even know it existed. So how would, as a resident, if I have something of concern, how would I go about contacting?
So either right after tonight, after this meeting, if you had some concerns, you can come up to us and share. And then we can actually have it on the agenda. We meet the last Mondays of every month.
But so it's only for people that come to the meeting that can bring up a concern? Is there any other way to contact, somebody on this neighborhood board in between meetings?
So all of our agendas are posted online on honolulu.gov/NCO. And then you go to neighborhood boards and agendas. And also all of our, and if you would like to contact us for anything, all of our emails are up there or some form of method of contacting us.
Okay, thank
Okay.
Chair, I wanted to add something on to what Harris had said about skin in the game. I think in all the projects that we've done so far, it's so interesting to see, and it's so exciting to see the community, especially the people that brought things to our attention, become the leaders of that project and to watch them grow. Because basically what Harris's committee is doing is we're introducing them to all the resources that are available. And then they in turn take the initiative to act on their own and not only depend on us. So they work in conjunction with us, and they can work also separately to address their issues going forward.
Okay, in the interest of time, please make it short, Richard.
Chair, can we give that lady like a minute and a half to ask her why she is here? She sounds like she has a significant issue.
I think, yeah, if you, did you have something specific you would like to? Okay, if you could just give us your name as well.
So I've been a resident of Makiki for 41 years, actually. I've lived in this neighborhood. I've watched the changes.
I'm sorry, if we could have your name, please.
Sorry, Lisa Ching. I've watched the changes in the neighborhood. My concern is I moved away for about a year because something, my building was being renovated, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I moved back beginning of this year. And I love to walk the neighborhood. That's how I get my exercise. And I love to walk Makiki Park because there's no lights. If you walk on the streets, you have all these lights that you have to deal with as a walker. So I like to walk the perimeter of Makiki Park. And when I came back to the park after having been gone a year, there is a group of runners that were never there before. I don't know what the deal is with them. They're young people. They run, they have these races around the park. And I was walking the perimeter and coming up fast behind me. And I'm a senior now, so this is really concerning to me. They came up fast behind me and they clipped me. Somebody clipped me. And, even though they're running the race around the park, they don't have to clip me. They don't have to be anywhere near me. That is so scary and dangerous. And they did it twice. And since then, I've been, hanging out with the dog people. I just adopted a dog yesterday. So I'm going to be bringing my dog to Makiki Park. And those runners are intimidating us. Like they are telling, they run really close to the benches where we sit. They act like we're not supposed to be there in the park, although it's a community park. It's my understanding they don't even live in the community. They come from some other place, and it's very concerning. This, I've watched other people use that park. There often are, during the school year, 4 different soccer groups of young children using the park peacefully. Like, they have they're respectful of each other's spaces. They stay in their spaces. The people that are walking on the perimeter are safe. Nobody tries to intimidate us or knock us over, any of that stuff. The dog people have their space in the park. This group is very disrespectful. And they have been scaring me for sure, because I don't walk the perimeter anymore. I can't, because they're running and they act like they're going to run me over if I walk the perimeter. So that is my concern. And also, was it last week? They set up tents. They pounded stakes in the ground. They were drinking alcohol in the park. I don't think they're allowed to drink. I saw open wine bottle. I saw open beer cans. And I believe that the police were called, but from my understanding, they didn't do anything. So that's my concern.
Thank you very much. This is not the first parks concern, so I may take up Tom's suggestion and set a special session for or a special meeting to deal with various park issues, since it all seems to be coming to a head now. Yes, and then if you could, sorry, there's a attendee from behind you. I'm sorry, if you could give us your name.
I'm Aaron Smith, and I live across the street from the district park. And same group, 7 days a week for like 4.5 hours, just nonstop whistleblowing. Cops have been called. We've tried talking to the park. Like, I mean, I can't even sit in my house. But like, I have headphones on and a fan on, and it's like, oh my God, obnoxious. So I don't like, I mean, there's a number of facets to the running group problem. And I respect what they're doing. Like, they got these kids out there, they're engaging them, they're active, they're, like physically active and not running the streets or whatever you want to call it. But like, I respect that, but they do not reciprocate that respect to the people using the park. And like, all of us are fed up with it, honestly. So they're all like middle high school. As far as I can tell, I mean, I'd be the best judge of age, but they all seem to be like high school, middle school age. No. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Go talk. Thank you. Go talk to the park
Oh, I have.
staff.
We all have
Yeah, because,
every day.
okay,
They're
so
probably
they
sick of
should
hearing
see you coming, and they should be out tackling those guys for you.
No, the guy wouldn't even look me in the eye when I tried to talk to him about the noise issue. Like I just like,
yeah.
They say that there's nothing they can do, and a nice request was made to at least limit the whistleblowing and the rudeness, just to be neighborly. Like, we all share the park. Like, we respect that, but they don't seem to respect that reciprocally.
Yeah. Like I said, this isn't on the agenda, so we can't deal with it just yet.
Got it.
But like I said, I also love parks, so that's why I said I think I'm going to be taking up Tom's suggestion to do a special meeting at some point in the near future.
It would definitely be appreciated.
And I believe Ian had a comment.
So I think the previous speaker just brought up something that might be a little bit actionable. Finding conflicting things Googling, but there are noise regulations during the day in residential areas. And if the whistle specifically is repeatedly going over that, that's something which 911 can be called over. I believe, did you specifically request they do a decibel reading? Okay, I think that might be some of the magic words about specifically noise ordinances and decibel readings.
Okay. Were there any further questions? John VA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just on board with the other community members behind me. I've had very negative interactions with the group. So if you will have a special meeting, I'll definitely be there to speak up at that one about the park use.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Okay, so we have our members for the Nice Neighborhoods Committee. Moving on to the presentation for the initiative to create an Alloy Watershed Special Improvement District. Thank you so much for your patience. Yeah. Unfortunately, due to time, I will likely have to cut comment short.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you, members of the board.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Cyrus Howe. I work at a local nonprofit called Hawaii Green Growth, and this presentation is about an initiative to designate the Alawai watershed as a special improvement district. If we can advance slide, please. These were introductory slides. I can just kind of skip over. You can Google Hawaii Green Growth Aloha Plus Challenge. This is our watershed, so it encompasses 11 or so neighborhoods, depending which ones you consider. 200,000 residents, about 4,500 acres, the equivalent of the next slide, please. Airport. This is just a slide to, I guess, emphasize the importance of water in our lives. I think we all know, water is life. Next slide, please. And our watershed, some people aren't familiar with what watersheds are. Here, we're very fortunate we can see it every day. In the mainland, sometimes they stretch thousands of miles. In our case, we can see it Mauka to Makai. Next slide, please. This next slide just is a precipitation map to show the importance of our forests. Next slide, please. And protecting them. This is a slide showing the evapotranspiration, also to emphasize the importance of our forests and how they contribute to cloud formation and rain. 100% of our drinking water comes from rain. Board of Water Supply will tell you it takes our mountains 25 years or so to filter it naturally, and then they do their best, and they do a good job, I think, distributing that to all of us across Oahu. Next slide, please. A couple of years ago, the Mililani Mauka fire happened just months after Lahaina, and this was very concerning. Yet again, a reminder to protect our forests, keeping those wet areas wet. Next slide, please. So they don't become like this. This is pretty much irreversible, irreversible, and contributes to topsoil runoff and just losing that nutrient-rich soil. And you're adding after wildfire also hazards like landslides and exacerbated flooding. Next slide, please. Just a sort of before and after urban development to give you an idea. We're not trying to reverse development. That would be impossible. But just to put things into perspective, only about 8% of our urban core here is canopy cover, so trees. They say that 30% is really better for lowering urban heat and just offering higher quality of life. Next slide, please. Oh, next slide again. So this is just kind of a microscopic zoom in on the process that happens from our impervious surfaces, our rooftops, driveways, streets. Everything goes straight into, all the runoff goes straight into our storm drains, into streams, and then eventually into the Alawai Canal, into the ocean. It is not treated like sewer. It's a totally separate network of pipes. Next slide, please. So we're trying to intercept that runoff before it hits the streets and pollutes our waterways. This is a map of our stream networks. And the next slide will show on the ground what some of these streams look like. Very unnatural to natural, and they transition back and forth between these, and they go underneath our streets, and some people make homes in them. But this is what urban watershed looks like. Next slide, please. Every rain event, the Alawai Canal makes the news, and this is kind of the product of that. Next slide. And you can see there in these pictures, this is a recreational area, right? This is, I mean, a public health concern. So we want to mitigate these outcomes after rains. Next slide. So this is not a new idea for a special improvement district. Actually, it goes back even further than 2019, all the way to the late 90s when the first watershed plan came out for the Alawai watershed to set up a district to more efficiently and effectively, sort of like Board of Water Supply as a pseudo-government authority to implement nature-based projects, not necessarily gray infrastructure, such as those that the Army Corps has been in the news about too. That's out of reach financially at this point. Next slide, please. Maybe the next slide after this one too. And these are our goals, as I said, to mitigate flood risk, to recharge the aquifers, and to mitigate groundwater runoff too. Next slide. So there are a couple improvement districts, actually kind of like 3 in this example. So you have Fort Street Mall and Waikiki Business Improvement District, as well as the Waikiki Beach Special Improvement District. Those guys in the bottom right, you've probably seen them, the Aloha Ambassadors riding around. They're part of the Business Improvement District. So that's an example of how they use their special funds. Next slide. These are just some of the projects on the ground. Any Mokulani residents here? This is just on Keomoku Street. They, put in a little rain barrel here. Just an example of what a good proactive property manager and board can do. So it's not just at, houses as far as residential goes. Next slide. More examples. This is a rain garden. So this is kind of an engineered garden that is particularly suited for ground infiltration. Next slide, please. Albizia eradication. This is what this looks like. Next slide, please. So you're getting the picture. There's many projects, and especially with federal funding cuts, we like to think that this collective will be more effective at seeking grants. I will specify up front that the latest draft right now does not include a tax. So this is something that we've been kind of wrestling with, and after consulting with members of our Alawai Watershed Collaboration, we decided to take out language that was from before about the U.S. Army Corps projects. This is our website that we set up with the draft bill and all the other studies, feasibility studies that have gone into this. Senator Fukunaga, I think the draft bill, it's been updated since last time we talked to you about it. So recently, this spring, it's been updated. With that, I will stop. And if you have any questions, you can go all the way to the end. I think that, yes, my email is there. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm so sorry we're just about out of time. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact him. Next up, we have the discussion on Sheridan Park fire and rebuilding process. Unfortunately, we're just about out of time. So, if you wouldn't mind coming up and making a quick thing. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Glenn Nochi. I'm Reverend at Bodaiji Mission, and we've been for over 100 years located on Elm Street between Pi'ikoi and Ke'eaumoku. We're a block away from Sheridan Community Park. And so when we heard about the fire to the playground equipment intentionally set, and I believe they got the alleged perpetrator, but we were shocked and saddened. And basically, I want to ask what can be done to replace the Sheridan Park playground equipment and how that process can begin. I have no idea if there's any kind of city funding or it's all community driven, but absolutely, you may recall there was a similar incident that occurred to the newly refurbished playground equipment at the Waihewa District Park. That happened in May. 1 month later, the community got together, partnerships, collaboration. They were able to replace that equipment. So that's really inspiring. And I think that momentum, if that can be something that can be done here through an initiative, definitely I would be happy to commit Bodaiji Mission support towards that effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I believe, we'll have Curtis hopefully pass it on to the mayor's rep since he left already. And Carol's here to help with that. And yeah, and certainly we'll keep this around to hopefully work on that. Okay, next up, we have the discussion on the planned Pono Square Dog Park and dog access to parks in Makiki. I'm going to push that on to next time. The next up, the Makiki-Lower Punchbowl Neighborhood Security Watch. Chuck doesn't have anything. Welcome Metropolitan Planning Organization. Is there anything substantial or can we skip it? Okay, they're planning. And finally, the Queen, in regards to the ongoing traffic issues in front of Chick-fil-A, so Queen Victoria Residences is hosting a coffee talk on Saturday, July 26th at 10 a.m. Would Lindsay like to speak very, very quickly about that?
Thank you, Chair Char, for the ongoing dialogue about this. We are having we have a new board leadership at QVR. We have Peter Stone here, who's the president of the board. Would like to just create a discussion ongoing on solutions. We don't want to keep complaining. We want to come up with solutions with you, Chair Char, and the rest of the board. So board members are invited to QVR. I'll work with Chair Char. Saturday, July 26th, we'll have coffee and pastries. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lindsay. Moving on to board announcements, and I believe Ian has one.
Sure. Thank you very much, Chair. I promise to keep this brief as we're at towards the end of the meeting. About 8 years ago, I was able to join this neighborhood board. I had the honor of serving as chair for 5 years. Looking around, we're seeing new members. I'm seeing more and more audience. I'm so proud of everything we're doing here. Recently, and I don't want to get too personal on this, my mom, who lives in Lower Manoa, has been having some health concerns. Them getting a bit worse. And I'm spending more and more time assisting her. And for that reason, I'm not going to be able to commit as much time for the board. So I think at this stage, before next month, so I'll serve a little bit longer, attend Lindsay's event. Before next month, I'll be putting in my resignation. It's been a tremendous honor serving with you. This might not be goodbye forever, but I did want to make that announcement and make sure people know that there could be an additional vacancy for one of the sub-districts where there were 2 candidates who were not able to join the board. But I just want to repeat, thank you all so much. It's been a tremendous honor serving on this board, getting to know all of you, hopefully solving a few issues here and there. Thank you very much for indulging me, Chair Char, and good luck.
Oh, thank you so much, Ian. Okay, our next regular meeting is scheduled to meet on Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 6 p.m. at Makiki District Park, the old Makiki Community Library, 2nd floor, and online via WebEx. Meetings can be viewed on Olelo Focus 49 on the first Friday at 9 p.m. and third Sunday at 3 p.m. At olelo.org/tune-in. Follow us at www.facebook.com/MakikiNB and visit www.8.honolulu.gov/NCO/NB10 for Makiki Neighborhood Board info. And in the interest of time, I will call it here.